WWE is not happy with a former talent, and I can tell you exactly why, and you would probably agree with it. Now, there's a lot to this story, so allow me to explain and set up it. WWE is clearly the biggest promotion in the world. They clearly pay the most, or at least on average, compared to even AEW and obviously the smaller promotions like TNA and MLW and even New Japan. Now, you have layered tiers when it comes to payouts. We are no longer drawing from the gate. No, all these talents, they are on contract salary, meaning the houses could be up, the houses could be down, profits, revenues, up, down, doesn't matter. Whatever that figure is for your contracted salary is what you get. Now, obviously, on the main roster, you make more. And depending on where you are on the card and your importance and your drawability and your star power, you make more or less. In NXT, we've always heard the whole $75,000 a year, that's your minimum. Well, a new interview with former WWE talent Priscilla Kelly, also known as Gigi Dolan in NXT, has reportedly caused some frustration within the company regarding her claims about developmental salaries. Now, speaking with Denise Salcedo, Kelly addressed what she believed are misconceptions about the wealth of WWE superstars, which pissed WWE off. More on that in a minute, and this is what she had to say. The common misconception, especially about NXT performers, is that we're millionaires. A lot of our fans, for some reason, think that if you work in WWE, you are under the umbrella, you're a millionaire, you live in a mansion, you're driving a Benz, you got it made. That is not the case. In NXT, there are contracts as low as $30,000 a year, and they do not go as high as you think, she said. Well, let's kick it back, because according to Brian Alvarez on Wrestling Observer Radio, these comments did not sit well with WWE management, as Alvarez disputed the $30,000 figure for a contracted talent, stating that the base television talent is significantly higher, while also clarifying the pay structure for the new WWE ID program. Pause. Why I said television talent? You have talent that is on television, Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, and then you have Performance Center recruits or Performance Center talents. Okay, these are talents that are just training, getting used to the WWE style, waiting for them to be called up to NXT, the main roster, whatever the case may be. Okay, I just want to kind of separate that, because I know that's a weird term. You don't hear that very often, but that's what I mean by that. Now, she mentioned that people made as little as $30,000, according to Brian Alvarez. And this is what he had to say. People in WWE were not happy with that interview because nobody is making $30,000 in NXT. The NXT deals start at $75,000. So if you're on television, wrestling on NXT television as a contracted performer, you're making a minimum of $75,000. Now, if you're Jordan Grace or Ricky Starks or whoever, you're obviously going to be making more than that. Nobody is making $30,000, but at the same time, the WWE ID talent, nobody is making close to $30,000. They're making significantly less because essentially the contracts are that we have the right to match any offer. Okay. Pause. What he's talking about here is the WWE ID program is essentially, hey, you're an independent talent. You're going to sign with us. You'll get a little bit of money. You'll get help with your booking sometimes. You can work in our ecosystem in terms of all the partnerships that we have with all these independents, right? And basically, if an AEW, if an MLW, if a New Japan, if any other promotion other than WWE, AAA, or TNA comes to you and says, hey, we think you're doing a great job, we would love to sign you, here's our deal, will you sign it for us? WWE will have first match refusal, okay? So they can go in there and go, okay, AEW is offering you $100,000 a year, we'll pay you $100,000 and you can sign with us. And then the talent will have to make a decision. Hey, do I sign with WWE or do I just keep working the independents? Okay. It's not they have to sign it. You're forced into it. None of that weird conspiracy stuff. That's just what they're talking about. Okay. Now, the discussion around pay comes amidst other financial revelations from released talent. If you look at Rich Holland, he recently disclosed that he had received a foreclosure notice on his home shortly before his rant towards WWE, which was followed by the news that his contract would not be renewed by the company. Meanwhile, talents like Karrion Kross and Scarlett have stated that they are earning way more on the independent scenes, making their own bookings outside of WWE. Okay. When we talk about talent contracts, you have to keep in mind they are so difficult to pinpoint and lock down because there's so many different variables when we talk about this subject. When we talk about this subject, you have to keep that in mind. Whether it's because of talent, whether it's due to where you work, how much you work, your draw ability, your star power. I'm very vocal here on this channel talking about stars. Okay. You need to know how to wrestle. Yes. But it is not the be all end all. What you should prioritize, in my opinion, is star ability, draw ability. How can I make the wrestling fan care about me? How can I let them care about my stories? Because I think it is very, very important that you have to be able to know how to tell a story, how to cut a promo, how to further a feud and a storyline, because there are differences between talent. You have to be able to tell stories. You have to be able to get over. You have to be able to resonate with fans to the point where they are willing to follow you on social media or engage in social media content about you or watch an interview with you or pay a ticket to go and see you, to pay for a streaming subscription, or even if you're like on YouTube TV or cable or whatever the case may be. Are you willing to pay expenses to watch product? Right? That's what it is. The reason that WWE and the reason that AEW are so far above every other promotion is not because of talent. It is because they have the ability to pay for the biggest stars out there. And the biggest stars, I don't care who you are, the biggest stars are always going to know how to cut a promo and connect with their audience. That is what separates great wrestlers from great superstars, right? You need to be able to come across as bigger than life or someone that you must see, right? Must see is what separates the competition. It's not how great you are, bell to bell, rope to rope. It's just not. It never has been. I don't think it ever will be.